matter that is of urgency and deserves the support of this House. Because, Madam Speaker, so many lives and livelihoods have been destroyed. Madam Speaker, there are people who have spent 10, 15 years building their enterprises. But in one business engagement with either county or national government, Madam Speaker, it has destroyed whatever they have built over time. It is therefore, Madam Speaker, appropriate that this House supports this bill by Senator Mariam to make sure that those who deliberately fail to pay suppliers of goods or services are not only reprimanded, Madam Speaker, but I think we should even recommend, Madam Speaker, that they should not even serve in public service. Because public service and public servants, Madam Speaker, have become killers of enterprises, have become reasons for diseases like blood pressure, Madam Speaker, because of failing to perform their duties while drawing salaries, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I therefore support this bill by Senator Mariam that prompt payments that are due to suppliers is not a request, but is a must that counties and national government to honor their obligation. And Madam Speaker, this bill is going to cure the habit of government overspending beyond the budget, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, there are a number of counties that have become mischievous in expanding their budget, Madam Speaker, through supplementaries. And they therefore end up with pending bills without resources in the future to pay. Madam Speaker, some counties, if they are to settle pending bills today, Madam Speaker, probably the current governors might not have anything else to do other than to pay. Therefore, this bill is not only going to ensure that there is prompt payment, but it is also going to address the issue of pending bills in future. And this is going to reduce the number of pending bills. If once passed as law, Madam Speaker, it is effectively enforced. Because also in this country, Madam Speaker, you know, we have good laws, but sometimes we lack enforcement of the same laws. Madam Speaker, on the issues of delays in terms of payment, Madam Speaker, this bill is also going to address transitional issues. And Madam Speaker, so many businesses suffer during transition, both in national and county governments. There is a habit that has been formed, Madam Speaker, that after 5 years, during transition, and there is change of administration, people come to office and pretend to do audit. We are not going to pay until there is a committee of pending bill. Those committees, Madam Speaker, are not committees to assess whether the payment is due or not. Those are avenues of corruption, of people going to ask the suppliers, the contractors, for money so that they are paid. Madam Speaker, this has been happening in a number of counties, and we have counties that the citizens are going to be petitioning this Senate. They have talked to us. They are willing to provide CCTVs of officers going to ask for bribes so that they can make payments for what is due. Madam Speaker, that is a habit we should not condone as a Senate, and as a House, we should support this bill so that we can cure most of those challenges that have created debts in enterprises in this country. Madam Speaker, those who delay payment sometimes make an assumption that the supplier is being paid, if a supplier is being paid 50 million, they think the supplier is going to get the 50 million. In that 50 million, Madam Speaker, there is VAT. In that 50 million, Madam Speaker, is a loan from a bank whose interests have outgrown even the profits that have been made, and some of the businesses would be running into losses. And Madam Speaker, that is why in this country, it has become extremely difficult for any business enterprise to build a serious credit worthiness in terms of doing business, because whenever they get business and there are delays in payments, there is therefore delays in servicing the loans, and it also affects their credit rating, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, these enterprises have no recourse, even after being pushed to CRB, after being pushed on credit worthiness in the banks, they have no recourse of claiming any form of damage from the procuring entities. And Madam Speaker, therefore, I support this bill, and I support the fact that suppliers who are not paid on time should charge interest on their dues until the time it is paid, and ensure that that procuring entity does not procure anything else, and then they clear with their bills. Madam Speaker, I therefore beg to submit and support this bill, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Senator Manzo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me an opportunity